This is John for Global Traveler. This morning I have the pleasure of talking travel with softball legend and dear friend Monica Abbott. How are you, Monica?
Hi, everyone. I'm doing good. It's spring right now, so baseball, softball season is in the air, and that's always a good feeling.
And you are absolutely glowing. Congratulations on the upcoming child.
Thank you. Yes, currently I am pregnant, so excited for our little baby to join us in this world.
When's the arrival?
We're due at in the beginning of June.
Okay, cool. Well, best wishes always. I'm sure he or she will be lucky to have the two of you as parents. So let's jump right in. You've had a remarkable career. You retired last year. Remarkable career in softball. You've pitched no hitters. You pitched perfect games. I saw several of them. Awesome times. When you were pitching a game like that, did you know right away that it was going to be a special night?
Um, There's like two different, when you're throwing like a no-hitter or a perfect game as a pitcher, there's two usual situations that are happening. One is like you have no idea. Like you have no idea at all. And then the other one is that all of a sudden you're playing and you're like, oh, it's because it's a close game and it's like 0-0, or like so you're just kind of rocking rolling trying to get the game's flowing and just trying to keep people off bases, right? Because it is your competition, your other team is really good. And then all of a sudden, what happens sometimes to pitchers is they'll be in like the sixth inning or the seventh inning and they'll be like, man, like, what's the score? Like, like, have we scored yet? Or like, something like that. Just like kind of like some downtime, or you'll be in the dugout and you're on offense, and then all of a sudden, no, none of your teammates are talking to you. Why isn't anyone wanting to talk to me? What's going on? Like, because no one wants to jinx it and all of that.
Sure.
So, and then that kind of like jolts you a little bit, but for the most part, I mean there were a few that I threw that I knew I was really close, and there were a few that I had no idea until, two outs in the seventh.
Well, it was always a thrill. And like I said, I was lucky enough to see a few of the various no-hitter and perfect games. It's just amazing
Thank
times.
you.
And you pitched all over the world. You've pitched in Japan, though, several times for seasons. Was your pitching style, did you adapt at all, change it when you pitched there?
Yeah, I played professionally in Japan for 14 years. It's the best league for a softball player, best league in the world for a professional softball player. And I feel like I was in a unique position where I got to kind of grow up there as an athlete and be a real professional and get coaching and analyze myself, and also kind of things that they're really good at. I think Japanese pitchers, they're really good at change of speed. They have great changeups usually. And then they're really good at hitting their spots. Now, most of them don't really throw like a epic rise ball or an epic drop ball, like say, like I have a great rise ball, most pitchers don't throw that. So when I went over there and I was working with their catchers, they really helped me focus on how to improve my locations. Whereas in college, sometimes, you know, I would I would throw the ball on the corner, but the entire ball would be on the plate, right? Okay,
Mhm.
well, there's a difference in that pitch versus a ball on the corner and the edge of the ball on the plate and the other part of the ball, on the dirt. So there's just differences in that, and they helped me really like focus on that and really held me accountable. And honestly, like I wanted to be better at that. I just didn't know necessarily how to practice it,
Sure.
and I knew I could do it, right? Like I knew how to hit my spots when I went over there. They just helped me fine tune some of those things.
And you said you pitched several seasons in Japan. How long did it take you to kind of acclimate yourself just to the culture, to the people, to the area?
Yeah, the great thing about Japan is that they're very they love Western culture. They love America. Americans were technically one of their neighbors. It sounds kind of crazy, but one of the closest countries to them outside of like Taiwan is America, right? We're their Western or
Sure.
Eastern border, right? Um, and for them, so they love the culture and they learn English from like basically preschool, kindergarten, just like how we would learn maybe Spanish technically. We various languages depending on what
Right.
part of the states you're from, but they all learn English going up through school, so it's required. So they most of them have a basic elementary English level. Um, International business is very big over there. And even like their signs, like if you're going through the subway or getting on a train or Shinkansen or anything like that, most of their signs are in both English and in Japanese.
Oh.
So it's really easy to kind of understand their language and get around there, which was really helpful.
What were some of your favorite spots there, whether for dining or sightseeing or history?
Yeah, so for me, I lived in Toyota, which was central Japan and outside of Nagoya is their big city. My favorite place that I've been is Kyoto. I think it's the best place to go. If you want to visit Japan, Kyoto is just, it has an incredible experience of culture and being able to visit shrines, temples, kimonos, food, just embrace yourself more into the Japanese culture. It's incredible. The other place that I really liked was Hiroshima. That one is it's a little bit harder to get to, but if you have the time, it's definitely worth it. Obviously, they have the Atomic Bomb Museum, which puts a little downer on your trip, you know, and it's as an American, it's a little different because you're seeing it through their eyes, right? Like you're seeing it through Japanese
Right.
perspective, but they have a shrine there that is probably my most favorite one in in their country, and it's called I think it's the Meiji Shrine and Temple. And there's like, and it's just beautiful. It's in the partly in like the bay, so based on low tide or high tide, you can walk out to the torii, which is the little like gate thing that is at all shrines. You can walk to the torii if it's low tide, or if it's high tide, you can't, right? Because there's a
Right.
little dock. But it's really just an absolutely beautiful country. All seasons are great. Spring and fall are especially nice. Um, yeah, I just absolutely loved my time there. I don't know, what else could I say? Food was really good too, all of it.
That's perfect. Now, not counting softball, not counting sports, since you lived there so long, how did that affect you? How did that change you? What did you learn? Like what impacted you the most?
Um, I think patience, right? Like, you have to learn. For me as a person, going to a country that their language isn't English, right? Like,
Right.
you have to accommodate their language in a sense, especially if you're living there. So for me, I had to learn a lot of patience. I also had to learn to like be okay laughing at myself and being wrong, right? Like there's plenty of times like I would just mess up their words and they'd be like, you said this instead of that. Like you said, something funny instead of this. And I got really good at being outgoing and just being able to go with the flow and knowing that it was okay to like just do mess up all the time and their language and be okay with it, right? Be okay with it, not be so hard on yourself on those situations and just be a little, I would say, lighthearted in
Okay.
that.
So what advice would you give to either young softball players going there or even just, tourists?
For young softball players that are that are going to play in the league, I would definitely say do everything they can. Don't go in there thinking that you know everything. Like Japan is very successful in softball. Like you don't need to teach them, like learn from them. For just young athletes and everything, just start looking at how they carry themselves and respect the game and also not their work ethic. Over there, they don't have the luxury of some things like we do. They clean their softballs and they take care of their equipment and They take care of their field and all of these things. So I think it makes you kind of understand what it takes to take care of your own stuff and make it last and make it be nice for a long time.
Okay.
If you're traveling over there, I would definitely say go to Kyoto. It's the best. Try all the food. What else can I say? Yeah, try the
That's good.
food. And then, I think seeing sports over there is really cool. Like whether you're going to go to a baseball game is really popular. Um, all that stuff is really fun. Just embrace the culture and be willing to just try new things with an open mind.
Great advice. Now, the last time we talked, about a year ago, you were coming out with a book. Love the
Yep.
book. Absolutely love the book. I encourage everyone to get it. Monica Abbott, Rise and Shine, fantastic book. Whether you're a college softball fan, pro softball fan, great book. This time, though, we're talking about another book that you got coming out. It's a coloring book. And I found this really interesting because I just interviewed a different woman. And one of the things that has been coming up lately is coloring books are very big for travel.
Oh,
They're
really?
very big on airplanes for keeping kids occupied and even adults. So tell us about your coloring book.
Yeah, so it's my softball dream coloring book, and it takes you through basically a family and having a little girl that wants to play softball and she's playing rec and or starting her softball career. She learns how to slide, she practices, she learns how to slide. We try to incorporate some good life lessons like practice and a good nutrition. Then it's game day, so she gets up and eats, her dad makes her breakfast and um they warm up as a team and then, they're cheering, they're doing little softball cheers and all that sort of thing. And then of course at the end of the coloring book story, they obviously win the game and she wins by sliding because that's what they did in the very beginning after
Sure.
practice. But it has some great activities like a word search. It has some creative aspects to it as well. And it's just kind of a fun project. We thought there's so many opportunities in books out there for older softball athletes, and we just want to keep the young ones excited about the game. And what better way than taking them through the game with their family in a coloring book avenue?
Will there be more?
I don't know. I
Fair
guess we're gonna
enough.
see how this one goes, and I guess yeah, if it goes quickly and it's a hit, then absolutely we'll have to figure out how to make another one.
Well, like I said, I just love the concept. Not only is it educational and interesting, and like I said, there's a lot of interactive activities in it. But like I said, the tie-in with travel just kind of surprised me of late how big coloring books are coming back when you got all this technology and stuff. But kids
Mhm.
like coloring; it keeps them active and it keeps them quiet. I love kids, but on airplanes, keeping them busy and quiet is a cool thing. So I'm sure the coloring book is going to sell greatly, especially among your fans, and to gain new and to keep growing the sport.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a fun little thing to keep kids busy and keep them learning and excited about some of the things that they might be doing in their life.
So what is next for Monica Abbott aside
Uh,
from the baby coming?
yeah. Yeah, no. I run my company, Abbott Athletics, and we have a couple different arms. Obviously, we have an education piece where we put out those books like the coloring book, Rise and Shine. We have a mental training book. We have a virtual education platform that we do as well. And then we have a couple other things that promote sports, like our events business. We do tons of like softball clinics and events through that. We do tons of public speaking events. We have a scholarship that gives out a couple awards to high school athletes a year, and we have a big fundraiser for that in May. So we have a couple different arms that keep us busy. And then, of course, this season, let's see, what season are we in? We're in 2025. I'll be announcing for ESPN for college softball as well.
So before I let you go, tell everybody where they can find out more information about Monica Abbott, where they can get the book.
Of course. So the best place to find out more information or to get the book is going to be on monicaabbott.com. But of course, in the world of social, another good option is Instagram, which in my handles at Monica Abbott. Surprise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a shock. That's great. Monica, really, thank you very much for your time. Thank you really for growing the sport. It's always been a pleasure to watch you. It's a pleasure to talk to you. I treasure the times that I got to see you pitch. I always knew it was going to be an amazing, amazing night. And I
Yeah,
thank you
thank
for your
you.
kindness over the years. You've always been very free with your time for interviews. I appreciate it all. I encourage everyone to first buy your autobiography, check out the coloring book, and check out the Monica Abbott Scholarship and all else. Monica, you're doing great things to grow the sport, and I, for one, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Have a great day, Monica.
Okay, you too. Bye.
Bye.